All right, Earnestly podcast coming here. We're taping this on January 31st, 2023. I always say 2022, and I catch myself every time, Kyle, when I'm going to say 22. Like it's 23, it's 23, it's 23. Takes me about 2 months.
If it makes you feel better, I was about to gripe back and be like, bitch, it's February, but it's when we're doing this, it's January 31st. So we both have our issues.
Kyle Nash is here, Student Game Report. Probably the last one, maybe the second last one of the season. Not saying we won't do one all season, but
you're not going to rap me. You're not going to have me rap the damn Super Bowl from Arizona.
Well, you'll be there next week, but I don't know if I don't know if we'll be able to schedule time next week. I mean, we'll see. We'll work it out if we want to.
What, the kids wake up during school and come home too? What the fuck, EJ?
I'm just not trying to impede on your
there that you demand my required F word quota, not FU, but F word quota.
My guy. I'm just not trying to impede on your schedule. I think you're gonna be a busy man next week. So. But
because that suddenly stops because the NFL.
If we can make time for next week
here's how busy I am. I'm emailing an SID about interviewing Paxton Lynch, Ernest Christian.
Is he still? He's in Seattle, right?
No. He has actually been signed to join the Guardians this season.
He'll be XFL, right?
Aha! Gotcha.
You see what I did there?
I thought you did. He set me up very nicely, and I got to use a Dave Chappelle drop. If I start carrying a soundboard like Big Jim, I'm definitely gonna have to throw in Dave Chappelle with his cane. Gotcha, bitch.
Yeah.
That would be a good one.
So I'm playing injured this week. My back is fucked up right now. My left side, most of my shoulder. Really, be honest, you down to my back and my arm. Playing injured today, man. So we'll carry on.
I was going to say something about Mrs. Christian treating you a bit too rough, but you would enjoy that conversation. Shall we move on?
Yeah. Anyway, anyway, we have just wrapped up championship weekend in the NFL, or championship Sunday, should I say?
Yeah.
Quick question, actually.
Sure.
Because I thought about this actually a couple days ago. Would you be against seeing both title games separated by on the days, like have one game on Saturday, one game on Sunday? Would you be against that, or would you like it all one?
Opposed? No. Prefer it? No. Back in the days before I had two children, and I was not covering various events and doing this sort of thing was practical for me. I used to always have my party on Conference Championship Sunday. Two reasons. A, then you don't have to compete with other Super Bowl parties. B, you have people at Conference Championship Sunday who are there to watch the damn game. Okay? I don't know if you've ever seen my Super Bowl video on my Sports Symposium Super Bowl video on Hilarity by Default. Bing! But if you haven't, I suggest you do so, EJ Christian, where I talk about the majesty of the Super Bowl and how football is just a tertiary element in some games. Granted, I think the last big blowout we've really had in the Super Bowl was
Denver and Seattle.
Yeah, where everything was going wrong. I think that's the last really big blowout. Every game's had an element of close and competitive to it. Hell, this past one that I covered in Los Angeles last year was a fun game. Many would say, if it weren't for this call, this would have changed. Ironically, the refs were against the Bengals in that one. More on that later.
Apparently. I agree with you on the 100%. Number one, to me, football's already over because I prefer Conference Championship weekend over the Super Bowl, for the record. To me, it's the last really pure football weekend we have of the year because Super Bowl is just too much corporate shit, too much fucking outside trimmings. And look, I'm not trying to sound like a guy like the old guy in the lawn and say, "Oh, you can't have no fun." I get all that, but I'm a football guy first and foremost. I want to see the game. Okay, I mean, do I care about the halftime show? A little bit. I'm not like overly like, oh my god. I mean, I look forward to seeing Rihanna this year. We're wrong. Hell yeah, but at the end of the day, I'm here to watch the game. At the end of the game, so. I am with you. To me, Conference Championship weekend, or Sunday for matter, is to me the last pure NFL weekend.
Why do you keep calling it weekend, by the way?
Sundays. I keep saying Sunday. I
don't mean weekend is a guy who performs at the halftime show during the Super Bowl. It's true. Conference champion Sunday.
Right.
Sunday.
Yeah. No. You're right. No, I keep misspeaking when I say that. But that being said, and that's why there was these rumors that rolled around, post, Bills, Bengals, DeMar Hamlin situation, whole options how to run the, possibility of doing a neutral site conference championship game, which then there was some exploratory talks we heard through some channels in the media that the NFL was at least looking to the possibility of making the conference championship games a neutral site situation. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And I'll go so far as saying this: if that actually ever came to fruition, that could be one of my first steps to stop watching football altogether. Because to me,
shut up.
It would because no. Because what it tells me is that the NFL don't give a shit about the fans. Because to me, the beauty of conference championship week Sunday, excuse me, I was did it again. Sunday was that you love the team that has home field advantage going to that game. There's a certain aura and excitement, extra excitement for the possibility of going to the Super Bowl. You lose that immediately having a neutral site game.
I don't think that's accurate either.
Why?
The NFL travels. Definitely.
But you have a neutral site game though.
Even considering having a Super Bowl at an international location. Like the NFL travels. The majesty, if we could go to the Super Bowl, and I get what you're saying, by the way, I'm arguing this from the awkward position of actually absolutely agreeing with you. Do not kill home field advantage for conference championship Sunday. That would be fundamentally stupid.
Actually waters down the regular season no more, because of what it does now. It lessens the need for a number one seed. And it actually defeats the purpose actually of having the only one bye now, because other than having a week off
of the purpose of a bye if you have guys that are hurt, just as the Chiefs.
That's the only thing. But you also have home field advantage on top of the bye, as you see right now this year.
And in the words of Joel Klatt, and rightly so, right? Now it does take away some of the advantage, absolutely, but obviously over and above the robbing of the teams, why I don't think the aura and majesty will be gone. It will be different, and I think that's what it should be. Listen, if the Browns, God forbid them, if the dog pound hosts a playoff game, I want to see fools with dog masks on there. Roo, roo, roo. I want to see Arrowhead be featured if they get there. The 12th man being part of the playoff experience where the Legion of Boom were relevant is something we all deserve to observe as part of NFL history. And that majesty of it. I mean, that's a big deal.
All that said, even if they explore the idea of doing this, I don't think it will happen, because I think this will be an issue to get a lot of pushback.
Yeah, I don't even see the fiscal gain, honestly. Yeah. I mean, what you might put a few extra butts in seats because if they have it at Jerry World every year or something. That's not worth it.
Not ain't worth it. I mean, I rather, if anything, I'd rather you like explore the idea of splitting the games into 2 days. NFC game on Saturday.
I hear that from a TV standpoint.
I'm not even saying do it. I'm just saying if you give me a choice between the two options, I'd rather do that.
Okay, or how about neither?
No, gun to my head, none. Yeah, that's it. So anyway, so come on, championship weekend. I ask you every week we do this. Your takeaways. What's your big takeaway from this weekend? Sunday.
Well, we'll start with the NFC game because it was it's funny. That's the matchup that should have been closer of the pair and wasn't. And you know what the biggest crime here is? And everybody, as I critique this game, is going to be like, oh, Kyle, you're a 49ers homer. You want to know what makes me angriest? That we're not having the conversation about how good the Eagles actually are. Okay? And moreover, above and beyond that, EJ Christian, we're not having a conversation about how good the 49ers defense is. We're not having a conversation about how good the Eagles defense is. Everybody bitching about officials for the AFC Championship game, more on that later, needs to realize that the NFC Championship game was effing worse. I get it. The worst call made in that game wasn't by an official. Obviously, it was by alleged Coach of the Year candidate. Well, he's not alleged. He belongs there. Kyle Shanahan trying to block Hassan Reddick with a tight end. Good Christ. If you're going to do that, do it late where he's been beaten on a little bit with blocks, or it might actually surprise him, or, not playing a guy at full strength. Literally every single solitary thing that could go wrong on that play did, over and above bringing in the fourth string quarterback. And I'm not here to tell you that Josh Johnson did horribly for the short time he was there, and he gets hurt too. I mean, good God. Listen, if you want to critique 3 turnovers by the Niners offense, sure, go right ahead. It's fine. That's a legitimate take. But let's not act like that Philly dominated this game like everyone's talking about. All right? Jalen Hurts had 121 yards. Minus the 21 yards on the catch that wasn't on fourth down by Devontae Smith, he's fewer than 100 yards, EJ.
And for the record,
don't tell me about domination. Your boy Phil Simms, by the way, is another one who's just as bad as Bill Simmons. Hashtag I said it.
Ooh.
And, why is he there?
You love Simmons, don't you?
What's that?
You love Simmons, don't you? No, I'm joking.
Both Sims are stupid. Like Chris Sims, his claim to fame is getting a lacerated kidney. Why is he analyzing football? He's almost as bad as Orlovsky, okay? You guys emulate and dream of being Tony Romo, an analyst. You're not. You're bad at your jobs and you're stealing someone's money. No, not
and for the record, like that, I'm glad you brought up the Jalen Hurts thing in the yardage, because to me, you know who's not getting enough credit for that? The Niners defense.
I literally just said that.
They're not getting credit in the mainstream media at all.
And
like,
they gave up 31 points. How long were they on the field? Some idiots out there, EJ Christian, I'm glad you're not a Giants fan because I'm going to town on them right now.
Relax on that.
Actually made the comment that they're better than the 49ers as a football team. Shut your ass.
Stop. No, I agree with you. And it's not to say Jalen Hurts played bad. The Niners did their job.
No. And yeah, I'm glad you brought that part up. This is not an indictment of the Eagles in any way, shape, form, or fashion. By the way, the only thing I would question is people trying to tell me that Jalen Hurts is an MVP candidate. What?
He's a candidate. He ain't winning the damn award, though.
I don't even agree with that, but that we can put that off to the side. He's certainly not an award winner. Your guy, if you're a Giants fan, Saquon Barkley is, and it's not.
You know the student game MVP this year?
That's correct. He unanimously voted as your boy Mikey Byrne. Also agreed with it on that episode on the Student of the Game podcast. Bing! Yeah. So there's just so many bad takes out there. Your guy Chris Sims, well, they were just more physical than the 49ers. No, they effing weren't. Now, at some point, technically, I guess eventually they were, but how long was the 49ers defense on the field?
A lot.
Can we get some physics involved before we make stupid comments? Listen, the gods broke in favor of the Eagles, and that's okay. Can we just acknowledge it? And that doesn't mean the Eagles are bad. You know what? The Jim on his 5 discussions, which you should listen to. It's a great pod.
Already did.
Straddled the fence again. I don't want to call it luck. Bullshit. It was luck. And that's okay, because you want to know what luck is, EJ? The meeting of fortune and opportunity and hard work. And the Eagles have been working hard, granted, not because their schedule has challenged them to, but because winning as many games as they did is always hard. Getting through with Jalen Hurts at the end is always hard. And they came out back out of form to dominate a team that's typically indomitable when everything went their way. If this game stayed close, hell, it still felt close at 21-7 before Johnson got hurt, right? Mm-hmm. So with all that in mind, at the end of the day, the fact that they were able to come out and dominate a team and continue to push and keep the focus on after Brock Purdy got hurt is what I give them credit for.
No, I'm with you. In fact, like I said, that game was a lot closer than that score indicated. Until that third quarter.
Quarter.
Like I said,
let's be real. You're coming out there with Christian McCaffrey at quarterback. That game's over. Don't
exactly.
Let's not go with this closer than the score bullshit either. Like, hold
on. Let's go to the AFC side real quick.
Yeah.
There was a lot of conversation last week coming to the Sunday championship Sunday for the record. Who's best quarterback in the league? This and that. Joe Burrow's coming. This kind of thing. And I understood the logic of some of the analysts saying Burrow is the best pure quarterback in the league because of the things he does that every quarterback can do but does not do, the fundamentals. Whereas Mahomes is an anomaly and an alien because he's literally one of one. Understood that. But if there was any reminder that Pat Mahomes is still one of one and it ain't close, the Sunday serve.
So let's be careful with the ain't closes. Okay, because when these two guys are this good, the difference is that small. So let's not do that. Okay. Listen, Joe Burrow. I'm going to announce it here in case anybody hears this before we do go live, or before you do listen to the Huddle Up Pod or the Student of the Game Pod this week, because we are simulcasting.
Yep.
I want you to consider heavily votes and comments regarding the induction of Joe Burrow in full name status on the show. It was likely hinted at and touched on last week on Huddle Up. And I think this is something, I think the simulcast is a perfect place to do it. I have two players who will be up for application for full name status on the simulcast.
Oh, Burrows, he's there. He's there. Did I give you a name last week?
Stop spoiling the motherfucking segment. How about
did I give you a name last week on the show, though?
You did. You were and you teased it well then too. He's not inducted yet, and your dumbass is giving away your vote. Hey, bruh, you're not supposed to give away your Heisman vote. That's how you lose the shit. Stop being a member of the Baseball Hall of Fame media and fucking up the rotation.
Yeah, fair enough. Baseball Hall of Fame, fair enough. That's a good comparison. Fair enough, buddy.
See, that's how bad you were in doing that. I had to go baseball on dead ass. Okay.
Yeah. Makes sense.
No, but honestly, with that ceremony in mind, and I mean, if you watched Huddle Up last week before your inclusion, sir, because I know you were battling hard against the forces of children.
Yes.
It's not even a joke.
Welcome to my world. You know how it is. Come on now.
Yeah, but the question was also floated for Travis Kelce. So based on the reactions of the panel, I felt induction and this ceremony, and maybe it's a thing we start to do every year. You know, we find candidates that deserve middle name induction, and
that should be us. That should be me and you thing, since we just started with you and I.
See, don't be like the citizens of Jacksonville getting all ticked off that the team has adopted Duval as a call. Listen,
motherfucker, it's our thing, Kyle.
Maybe, but and as you and my talent should, it's expanded beyond just one show. And by the way, here's the other problem with just you and me. What if we both disagree? Someone's got to break the damn tie. You know what I'm saying?
I'll call the wife. No joking.
Does he play for the Saints? No.
She watches the stuff now. She's watching football these days.
No, I kid because I like making fun of Saints fans. They're my in-laws. But the punchline,
we almost got divorced because of that. So
I mean, you know, your worship of Tom Brady is your own problem.
Hey, 7 rings later, get over it.
Wow, that's how many forgiveness rings you had to buy your wife. It's kind of like Kobe. Anyways. What, too soon?
Yo, way too soon in the wrong week to do it.
Hey, I'm sorry that histories are facts, man. Listen,
I get
by
it.
the way, tribute to the lost all too soon Kobe Bryant. Anyway,
yes, of course.
Yeah. So I think trying to use the term "and it's not closed" with Patrick LaVon Mahomes II and Joey Burr is silly.
Well, I say that because it's not even fair to Burrow right now to say this, because the advantage that Mahomes has right now is the sample. He's now 6, well, technically 6, but 5 years in the league. Well, you know, 5 years of starting quarterback. And all he's done every year is at least get to the Final Four every single fucking year.
He should have gotten to the Super Bowl 5 straight times.
Looking at you, D Ford.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. And then, and we won't talk about, you know, I'll never forget being backstage waiting for the Hall of Fame inductees coming out last year. We were watching the NFL honors show, and Keegan-Michael Key found Kelce in the audience and asked about Patrick Mahomes forgetting to play football, how to play football against the Bengals. That's how bad that went. But like, it should have been 4. Then Joey Burr got involved, so we'll give him credit. And your boy Ford helping Thomas Edward Patrick Bieber, whatever. That guy.
Look, you made this up. You never remember this stuff. You made up this fucking name.
Oh no, I'm you know that moment I would have where he was Russell
Carrington,
Chamomile,
Cantankerous,
you know.
Cantankerous, yeah. See, this is look, you're making my point here. This is why this should be our thing, because we taken this middle name thing and stretched it in ways that no one else could do it.
Okay, maybe it's our thing, EJ, but at the end of the day, I need help in assessing it, because I can be either one of us can be dubbed a biased party.
You see, I get middle name status too because I'm Jamiroquai.
No, no, you're not.
I'm Jamiroquai.
That's virtual insanity. We've been over this. You set up that pun on purpose.
Hey, this is why this works, buddy.
Gosh, I don't know. I have this much energy to riff with you like this after doing the In or Out Sports Debate podcast on the Legacy Maker Sports Network with Drew Willingham.
Hold my beer.
Yeah,
there you go.
No, I mean, glad to see you up. I guess you got some sleep last night, even though your back's hurt. I mean, playing hurt like a ball.
That's a whole other situation.
Hey, man, get in line. Listen,
yeah,
I have a response, but I'll save it for off air in the name of keeping my marriage intact. Punchlines.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think Joey Burrow, like somebody, give me just one idiot that says, well, Joe Burrow doesn't run. Joey Burrow willed his ass. Something.
Who the fuck says that?
Easy. Willed his ass across for a third down run. I think it was at least 3rd and 8. Something out of Adam Sandler in the damn the new version of The Longest Yard.
Yeah,
so
quarterback draw. I remember that play. It was a great play call by the way by Zach Taylor.
Oh, you think that was a designed run?
Yeah, it looked like a design run. He literally snapped it and went straight across.
There was some delay, but that's what you do with a draw. I'll tell you what, if it was called, it was executed well enough to where I couldn't tell exactly, but it makes sense that it is.
Yeah.
I thought you were an analyst, Kyle. No, listen, hey man, I'm just trying to see what's on the field. I don't know the play call. I thought it looked like he saw it and it was a situation tantamount to the Elway helicopter run where he got a look in his eye and he just bolted.
That was fun.
But anyways, no, I mean, we want to focus on AFC Championship game. Take us through it there, host man. What we doing?
No, it's not, I mean, I'm
having a good time. I'm back, man. I'm sorry.
No, but look, when I say the not close thing, it's more so just it's not an insult to Burrow because Burrow's that dude. I've been on the wagon since college. He is right now in my eyes the clear number 2 quarterback in the league right now. In my eyes, was something we weren't saying not even 5 weeks ago. Now we're saying it now.
We were saying this before this game is played. This isn't like Colin Cowherd, the biggest Tom Brady homer on the planet, who decided to put all his chips on the table now that he's beaten Joey Burrow on Monday. Like we've been talking about Patrick LeVon Mahomes II as having GOAT potential. The only argument against it right now is he's only played 5 years. That being said, if he doesn't play 20, that doesn't mean he won't be the GOAT. Like,
no, I'm glad you said that. That's my next segue because that's the thing where I'm at now with the Mahomes thing is that if I came to you in Oregon and said that Pat Mahomes right now probably a top 10 all-time quarterback
easily.
Yeah, thank you.
If something happened to where, let's say, the worst event happens and somehow he's not able to play another down of football again, doesn't even make it to the Super Bowl to take snap 1, and Chad Henne is forced to take snaps, right? Which feels odd to say. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer now. He gets Gale Sayers treatment.
Yeah, Gale Sayers is the only person that actually has the comparison. He played 7 years and he retired. No, it doesn't sound silly, especially when you go through an actual top 10 list. The bottom of that list, he's clearly better than. At this point, we can say that because this is easily the greatest 5-year run when you combine not just individual success but team success. Corleskin, of course, we've ever seen this league. Brady early in his career was not this good when we went 3 and 4 years. The first go around. Well, he was never this good.
For Super Bowls, more of that was linked to Patrick LeVon Mahomes II than it was the Chiefs' defense.
Right.
Okay. Those and I asked Richard Seymour about this in his induction last year with the 3-point conversion when I covered the Hall of Fame. Bing! He said, I asked him specifically, hey, how cool is it that you're inducted and you're getting some shine on that Patriots defense? All the fans focused on Tom Brady. Oh, well, everybody, or at least everybody in Foxborough knew that was a defensive-driven team. Bullshit. I want to believe that's true, Richard. It ain't. Okay? The fan base at large, including your Patriots, who, well, I mean, they look for any opportunity to take a dump on their team because they're Boston fans. I mean, that is what it is. But Like, don't sit here and tell me that Brady is way overcredited with any of those victories. And I'm not here to tell you that there isn't a defensive element backing Patrick LaVon Mahomes II. Okay? It's very funny that team, better team. And I pointed out the exact goddamn matchup that mattered that you ignored last week. Ernest Christian, Chris Jones coming in there and wrecking Joey Burr's life. And you were like, team. And I said matchup. And I was proven right.
Well, they shut me. They shut my ass up. That's for sure.
No, to your credit, you also voiced your concern surrounding the offensive line. So it's funny. You had the opportunity to be right, but you snatched defeat from the jaws of that victory. So, I mean, I can't help you.
But that's what I do, apparently, to you. All right, let's get to the as we've been doing all playoff long. It's not a grade. It's only two teams to grade here. Losers from this past Sunday. Let's get to the first team. This is obviously close to home for you. The Niners ended the year. What was it? 13-4 this year. 1-2 playoff games, obviously against Seattle and against last week, Dallas. So Niners grade, what you got?
I mean, maybe you can quibble with me on whether or not it's A or A plus, but is it any lower than an A?
No.
Seriously.
No.
Like how?
No. Okay. I don't know any other team in the league can go through what they went through with the quarterback situation and not only be over 500 for the record, win the division, win a playoff game, win a second playoff game with a third-string quarterback, okay? And then who knows what happens if Purdy is healthy in this game. I'm not saying they win the game, but that was the difference.
I'll put it this way. It was still pretty damn competitive even when he was out in the first quarter. This game at 21-7, you heard me say it earlier, in the first half, was still competitive in everyone's mind. Nobody was ready to give up yet. Okay. That should tell you everything you need to know. This is the reason why Kyle Shanahan is a better coach of the year candidate than Brian Daboll, possibly Nick Sirianni even. I'm not going to go there. But and keep in mind, this is based on regular season body of work too, right? You know, the moment they got a backup quarterback, things looked a lot different. Granted, they beat the Cowboys, but who doesn't? Anyways, so
nice shot at someone.
What, Cowboys fans? It's a shot at you, I thought. Anyways,
relax, relax, relax.
RELAX.
Yeah, relax.
No, man. Yeah. Please, if anybody has an argument at the SOTG on Twitter, Instagram, Student Game on Facebook, tell me an argument for how the Niners get anything less than a goddamn A this year.
No, like I said, I don't know any quarterback situation that could survive that. We saw a piece of that in Philadelphia for 2 games. Wasn't the same, right?
Yeah, I
mean, same. We saw a piece of that in Philadelphia.
I'll grade the Niners really hard and give them an A just because they thought Trey Lance was a good idea, and that blew up in their face. Right.
So, I think right at this point, the better conversation now about the Niners and letter grades, all that, is what's next. Because I'm gonna do a thing at the end of the year probably on the Unfiltered podcast, giving my 5 most interesting storylines in the offseason. I think number one, the bullet is the Niners and what they're going to be doing with the quarterback situation.
I mean, a lot of options here. You're going to wait to the offseason to do it?
Yeah, I'm waiting until after the Super Bowl's over to do that.
Okay, I mean, because you do jerk the knees, my friend.
No, but it is interesting. Yeah, this is very true. No, it is interesting here because you do have 3 quarterbacks on this roster. Jimmy Garoppolo for now, who's probably going to be gone.
Yeah, don't even count him. Buddy.
Yeah, he's going to be gone. Trey Lance, who was the guy in waiting behind Garoppolo, who has not had, to be honest, what does he play, 5 games in his career? 6 games? I don't know.
Just more than 5. Yeah, I'd have to look it up.
But still, not enough to make a concise evaluation of how good this guy is.
His grade is incomplete.
Yeah, and then he gets hurt this year, week 2. Okay, as a starting quarterback when they committed to him, and then get back to Jimmy G. He gets hurt, and then there's Brock Purdy. The rest of the story is history.
I mean, Purdy's the incumbent. Just on technicality and business alone. Football's a business, deal with it. But
right,
you're going to risk Trey Lance taking the job and then demanding a shit ton of money immediately, or you're going to try Brock Purdy and see if you can keep it on the cheap for a while.
So, and that's the thing. I think ultimately what's going to dictate the Niners' decision here, I hate to say it, is the financials.
Why would you hate to say it?
because
say is there's another 16.6 million
because there's still that
operates
right. But the reason I said that because there's still that specter of Tom Brady.
Okay, well, and I touched on this with Drew Willingham last night at the In-Out Sports Debate Show. The correct answer is the reason why I worry that Brock Purdy is the incumbent is we don't know who was running in the election yet, right?
Correct.
There's still
good
a chance.
analogy.
Maybe Aaron Charles Rodgers becomes a Niner. I doubt it, but can you rule it out? I sure can't. All right. Brady, the Brady thing is real. The tinfoil hat conspiracy theory that's already been floated here on local radio, as much as I want to trash it, not float or local radio, the theory, but maybe both sometimes. Sometimes take it easy. No one's looking forward to the Kyle Trask era in Tampa Bay. I know that. So if Thomas Edward, Patrick Bieber, Brady, and Jimmy Garoppolo switch teams, who's really losing? Also, Giants fans may be loath to hear the conspiracy theory of Daniel Jones going to the 49ers, possibly if they don't extend him, which I don't enjoy personally.
I'll tell you what, though, and it's not even knock on Dayball, but if Dayball can get what he got out of Daniel Jones this year on a shitty Giants roster, could you imagine what Kyle Shanahan can get out of Daniel Jones in a Niner uniform?
No, I can't.
With weapons,
the right style of quarterback.
Right, but I'm saying there's the talent though. He can move the pocket, all that kind of stuff. He could do a little more, probably a little more than.
I mean, Jimmy can move it too.
That's not worth a deep dive. I'm just saying that you can.
Yeah, I hear what you're getting at. I'm telling you that's fool's gold. See what I did there?
Yeah.
Because the 49er thing and the gold.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. Like you nail on the head. No, but the Niners, I think they are probably the most fascinating team of this offseason because so many things they can do here. Do you keep Trey Lance? Is Trey Lance cheap enough to stay on the roster next year, another year, just in case? Given the fact that they've lost 2 quarterbacks this year alone,
he is for 1 more year. Yes. Given
the fact that we discussed this a couple weeks ago on the show, the possibility of what the Niners just trade, just get rid of Trey Lance, get some assets back, whatever, second round, third round picks, whatever, and call it a day. But maybe there's some value to maybe just keeping Trey Lance on the roster. Maybe he's a backup because given what the Niners went through this year with the quarterback Curacao, even into the NFC title game, that maybe there is value. You know what? Yeah, let Jimmy G go. But you know what? Purdy's the guy going forward, incumbent. By the way, he's out 6 months with the UCL. We just found out yesterday.
The ulnar cruciate ligament, by the way. For
right. So, yeah, he was really hurt.
Yeah, I hated that, too. By the way, even going back to our good friend G. Stelio, GWSTWLIO, and Jake Cutler in the conference championship game where he got hurt against the Packers, and then bringing in Caleb, what's his butt?
Haney.
Caleb Haney.
Good,
yeah.
The last one to pass, right?
I never understood why people hated on Cutler going out in that game. Listen, guys, if you're going to give me crap and nonsense that bulletin board material isn't a thing, which, by the way, anybody who argues that bulletin board is not real, this weekend dunked on your sorry ass. Okay. Shouts to my good friends, Brian Murphy and Eric Lopez of the Black and Gold Banneret, but Bing. But yeah, you don't think they want to be out there playing for a chance at the Super Bowl? The entire bleep out of here.
Yeah, no. So I think there's still a good chance that you'll see both Purdy and Lance on the roster next year.
Yeah, definitely.
But now my point is,
the year after is going to be compelling. I wonder what uniform Trey Lance is going to be wearing. Oh, anyways.
Ooh. More on that later. Next team, the loser of the AFC title game, the Cincinnati Bengals, who also went, I think, 13-4 as well this year. Oh, 12-4 actually. Missed the game. 12-4.
Yeah, I picked them winning 10. So I mean, they already had high expectations and still exceeded them. Again, I don't know how you go lower than A on this. Hell, their defense even played out of their head. The argument could be made that your boy, the Big Apple, I'm sorry. You claim to be a Giants fan. You forgot you made him a first-round draft pick? Anyways.
I can't stand. I never liked that dude. Even in New York, couldn't stand him. So whatever.
Eli Apple had a very crucial call that helped the ball moving forward on one of the Kansas City scoring drives, if I remember correctly.
This is correct.
So,
good job, Eli Apple. Talking shit in the special team games.
Even though I felt like Joey Burr was even more gunslinger in this game than normal. I mean, there's a reason why he got picked off by 2 rookies, I believe. I'd have to double check that. In Kansas City secondary. Granted, some of it was just, fantastic play by the front, and I mean, they're a lot of things went right and wrong on certain
Chiefs
plays.
defense made plays. I know Burr had his moments, but Chiefs
both sides made plays, man.
Yeah.
Listen, it's funny. I predicted this game to be super close, and it was forming up for a minute like Joey Burr was going to win it, and then he didn't. And that little play I expected Patrick Mahomes to miss because of his ankle, he told me he went full Charlie Murphy on Dave Chappelle skits and saw my couch and said, bleep your couch. And just, and just
you can curse on the podcast, right?
Well, listen, I've already done my commensurate quota of fucks. Oh, shoot. There we go. Man.
Just saying.
I have no more fucks to give is what I'm trying to.
There you go. Fuck around and find out.
No, yeah, it's anything less than an A is simply uncivilized. There's a job for you.
I wanted to go B+, but I went
But you're wrong.
No, because here's the thing though. They matched everything I said they'll do. I had him win the division. Check.
Okay.
I had him win the AFC game. Check. I didn't have him winning it. So I mean, they did what they were supposed to do. I haven't won the Super Bowl this year. I had Buffalo.
Yeah, so did I.
I mean, they did everything I thought they would do. That season went the way it should have went, the way I thought it would go. So it was the way it should have been. I mean, I guess the question now is, do they extend Burrow this summer? Which I'm sure if Mike Brown or the smart, you do that.
A real big problem, isn't it?
Isn't Higgins a free agent too? Also,
I believe he is. Jesse Bates at safety is as well. Their defense is really what's going to be real interesting. The Trey Hendricksons, the Sam Hubbards, all that. Those guys, sooner than later, if they keep producing the way they're producing, are going to require a pay bump.
And this is a challenge.
Very, very doubtful they get it in a world where Joey Burr and Jamar Chase are your 1 and 1A.
And this is a challenge of keeping a team that succeeds early, get to Super Bowl, the whole 9, get in the picture, and then sustaining. Like the Eagles have to go through this very soon too. With Jalen Hurts,
sustaining is problematic,
right? Exactly. So I mean, this is where it gets complicated now because obviously Joe Burrow is the quarterback of the future of that team. There's no question. He's that dude. He is that guy.
I mean, unless Paul Brown F's it up, stranger things have happened.
Well, the only thing that gives me cause a pause is the Bengals' history of being fucking cheap. Let's be real.
That's Carson Palmer.
I mean, the only thing Burrow needs is a stable front office, and he's the main man. But I don't trust that front office until they get the shit done. So until then,
that's what's so great about Joey Burr. Like, he could come out and be that franchise. He's got the swag for it. Hell, the team can co-sign on a Joey Burr freaking clothing line today that would fly off the goddamn shelves. Like, I'm surprised he's not in talks with Oakley about like a sunglasses line.
Yeah. That dude's
shades so cool they make you say Burr. Joey's. Anyway.
That was good. I'm with you on that one. All right. Early thoughts in the game of Super Bowl 57. We got a lot of time to talk about this. We have next week. Talk about this next week.
The only thing I'm going to give away, no matter how many questions you ask me, we're on to Arizona. We're on to Arizona.
Philly's my favorite right now currently.
Who's favorite? Sorry,
Philly. As we checked this morning spread, it was 2 last night. Right now it is. Let's see here.
You're nothing but a degenerate.
Well, of course I am.
I use the soundbite to fill the time.
It is now. This is what I predicted. It's now Philly -1.5. The site I use to bet all the time, Bovada, has to pick them now.
And it should be. This
is just as I predicted was going to happen. It happened 2 days way sooner than I thought it would happen.
Because like for this is up there with last week trying to account for Mahomes' ankle. Now what do? It's been rendered irrelevant based on that run, right? And by the way, that late hit call, absolutely correct. Stop.
Oh, without question. I know who's question. There's people in media doing that shit too. Like Emmanuel Acho, for example. Like, what are you doing?
Emmanuel Acho is a fraud
Ooh.
and should not be in his position either. Mina Kimes is better at the game than he is.
Well, that's not saying.
You're getting outdone.
Mina Kimes is actually great at her job.
Yes, I'm telling you, you're getting outdone by a short Asian woman, Emmanuel Acho, and you're making anybody around you look bad with your garbage takes. You want to do that? You head over there with Stephen A. Smith and you yell with him for a while, a bunch of stupid trash that doesn't matter anymore. Okay?
Do we hate on Stephen A. though? Reading his book is awesome.
No, listen. Stephen A., the reason why I throw any shade at Stephen A. is because I'm hurt by what happened to him. Back when he was a dude in the Philadelphia Inquirer and New York radio and early on ESPN, where he would bring fire and be damn accurate in doing it. Now he's a freaking show puppet who dances. Oh, look, I'm going to talk extra trash on the Cowboys.
Well, that's all. I mean, yeah, I get it. It's all entertainment at the end of the day. But,
here's the thing. He used to be a gold medal winning wrestler, and now he's nothing but the 1-2-3 kid. Okay? There's a drop for you, WWE.
Oh, Sean Waltman, man. Hey, we hating on Sean Waltman. What's wrong with you?
When really, he should be, like Kurt Angle status, but he's too much of he's become just so showy. He has the potential to be a great mind in sports and a great analyst, and he's throwing it away in my mind doing this. I can't stand watching that show, and it's sad.
I can't lie. I like the show now than it was like with Skip. I stopped.
Okay, great. And you just said Vomit is a little bit more tolerable.
No, but to be fair, the people he has on that show coming on now that roll for that show now are actual good analysts. Mina Kimes included also as a part of
Mina Kimes is great. Danoff is bad at his job. You need to stop with that.
Well, it's why him and Steve get into it all the time. But you have like Marcus Spears and those guys, Swagoo. They're pretty good at their job.
Spears needs some work too. I'm sorry.
Right, but they're pretty good at their jobs, man. So I'll give them that.
Not really. Like,
you know what? We should definitely do a sports media episode in the offseason. You, me, you, myself, maybe even Jim join along, and this kind of, I guess, because the thing is, the reason why I get really passionate about this kind of stuff because I actually do watch a lot of sports media outside, not just with the ESPNs of the world and Fox Sports, but even outside that bubble too. There's a lot of talent out there that's not getting recognized.
I'll put it this way: there are too many people in their chairs that seem easily replaceable to me.
Well, Skip Bayless is the biggest one.
Okay.
I don't even find him interesting, to be honest with you. I can't even watch this video anymore.
And in other news, humans breathe oxygen.
Yeah. Sky's blue. Water's wet.
So is your shirt.
So is your shirt.
That's right.
Is that a Giants shirt or Bill's shirt? That could be anything. That could be anywhere from Lawrence Taylor to Bruce Smith.
1989.
Pro Bowl. Jerry Rice?
Close. I need to look up Jerry Rice's middle name. He should have middle name status. But
yeah. I mean, it's only the greatest receiver of all time.
You know that. But somebody else on that particular team that has middle name status, certainly, who you informed me his middle name, I think, the other
89, you said?
Yes.
Is he a receiver also?
No.
Running back?
No.
Well, it's Pro Bowl, right? He's a Pro Bowl.
Joseph Clifford.
Oh, come on. Joe Montana. Yeah.
Jackass.
I mean, sorry. I needed their numbers in first to get it right.
I mean, you call yourself an Irish fan? Jesus.
I am not an Irish fan. Shut your mouth. Shut your ass. Anyway.
How is that job of you guessing there, EJ? Not great, Bob.
Not great at all. All right, so let's get some news and notes here. There's a lot of things going on in the NFL around the Super Bowl that I want to touch on real quick.
Yes.
The Aaron Rodgers rumors now. Will he stay? Will he go? There's some talk. Wait. Hold on, Kyle. No. I'll tell you later, sir.
All right.
There's a lot of talk here, and even though Adam Schefter's not reporting this stuff now, that there's a lot of speculation that the Packers would rather move on from Rodgers at this point.
Yeah, and that's tied to what I'm saying. Every year we do this with Rodgers, not because Rodgers is actually leaving, but Rodgers is the most upfront among quarterbacks, maybe any player, certainly with the volume of media that he gets, but who's abundantly aware of his mortality, air quotes, in a business sense. Mm-hmm. In other words, he knows he's good at football. He's also very abundantly aware that business will be what does him in rather than his football talent, at least at this point. Now, granted, age is coming. Father Time is, how you say, sharpening the old scythe there in the form of the Grim Reaper on his career. I get it. That was very poetic. Anyways.
Right?
I mean, it's almost like I was doing mushrooms in my tea or something. But
is that tea you're drinking there?
No, it was coffee.
Okay.
No idea what the hell my wife might have put in it, though.
Hey, at least you're not playing hurt like the last week.
I mean, I'm not 100%. I'm definitely in Patrick Mahomes status, and I got a few first downs here on the show already. Fortunately, you aren't dumb enough to push me when I'm out of bounds. Listen.
Dick!
Dude, the call was correct. I'm not doing this to mock the player.
I'm with you, brother. You know, I know.
This is me going after the idiots in the media that are actually questioning that call. Of all the bad calls that were out there this weekend, the media going after that, and the bunch of idiots that are trying to say that Brock Purdy didn't fumble the football flabbergast me. Like, it's really stupid. You don't need to find shit to knock the refs for. It's there. I know you asked a Rodgers question, but let me go back to this. EJ, here's my problem with that interception situation.
Okay.
A play that happened after the whistle determined the outcome of the play. Okay? The reason why the Eagles retained possession after that is because after the whistle, the defender picked the ball up. What's the one platitude, the only platitude that should rule in football if you're a player? Involving the whistle, EJ. Come on.
Yeah.
Fill in the blank. Play to the
whistle. And then.
Yes, play to the whistle. By the way, your audience participation on that, not great, Bob. Anyway.
No, I gave you the space. I gave you the space to teach. You still the game.
But listen, I was trying to be like Freddie Mercury, and you didn't follow me.
Oh,
there you go.
There you go.
So this situation's created something where somebody's going to get fucking hurt. There, I dropped an F-bomb for you. Okay,
love it.
You know, Kenny Pickett and the fake slide is just, that's catastrophe. You know, and this is in there with that category. You're setting up a situation where somebody's going to try to play hard after the whistle, and they're going to get 15 because you dumbasses blew the whistle too soon on too many plays. Though people may not like it, and there are times where I question it, I'll be fair, but sometimes letting the play out is the right move, and more officials have done that. I've made a joke about it being cowardly, but it air quotes assures the correct call is made. Now, dumbasses being unable to properly read a replay is another question. But why wasn't that play allowed to continue? Right? That's the correct move. The only reason why the Eagles defender was able to just nonchalantly bend down and pick the ball up is because the goddamn whistle was blown. Okay? If there was a fight for the ball, there's no guarantee the Eagles get it. Now, does that change the outcome of the game? No. Neither does the extra 29 yards they got off of a catch on fourth down that wasn't. But we're talking player safety here. Stuff going on after the whistle, determining things on the field is a horrible goddamn precedent, and it needs to be quashed quickly while it still doesn't matter. If I'm the officiating office, I am going over and above, even in a game that air quotes is a blowout on the scoreboard. Well, no, on the scoreboard, it is a legitimate blowout. I'll give it that. I want to make this statement now. Listen, bitches, we're going to let more stuff like that play out. So playing to the whistle is the governing thing, as it should, and rightly so. That's my one concern with that call. It was a correct call. It was damn sure a fumble. You just made it after the fact in a replay when the whistle was blown, and it should not have been. Speaking of whistles being blown when they shouldn't have been, or more procedural things being the problem, the bitching about the officiating in the AFC Championship game, mostly ill-founded. They got an extra down. No, they fucking didn't. Here's what happened for those who still don't know because you're idiots. There was an incompletion. Whistle was blown. Clock was allowed to run when it shouldn't have been. They were trying to stop the play from continuing, and these guys who have whistles right here on their damn chest didn't use them. to keep the next play from happening. So it was perceived that another play happened when it really shouldn't have in the first place. So people are like, well, on that play, this happened and this doesn't exist. Shouldn't have ever existed. You know what that is a case of there? Alone, bad PR. Now, you want to talk to me about a missed block in the back on the Chiefs run back that set up the eventual play in there, Bengals fans? Fine. Then you answer for me why Nathan Vasher was allowed to run 108 yards on the 49ers back in 2014, 2015, and then we'll have that conversation. The point is, they miss him all the time, guys. Joey Burr had a chance to win that football game, and he didn't. Now, is that Chris Jones' fault? You know, the matchup that you neglected to take seriously, even though I told you exactly about it, EJ Christian? Bing.
You sure did. Bing.
You know, on the Huddle Up podcast, no doubt, right?
Mm-hmm. Bing.
You know, I mean, the only thing that could have happened is if Chris Jones was held and still got the sack on Joey Burr, and he would scream out "and won," which is the unoriginal name of the Earnest Christian Basketball Podcast. Bing!
You asshole.
Yeah, but this bitching about the officials, stop it. They got plenty wrong. Not if you're going to complain, can you at least get the shit they got wrong on your docket, please? Thank you.
So okay, so that Aaron Rodgers out the way now because he went from Aaron Rodgers.
Oh yeah, I didn't even touch Aaron Rodgers. Two things quickly. One, Aaron Rodgers has always been very aware of his mobility, or the Packers' desire to move him. The Packers have said, you know what, that's not a bad idea. I get it. It's their interest in it that makes me take it seriously.
Are you sure that that's something they wanted to do until? Because I would have thought that before this year, they would have wanted to move him. I think after this year, everything has transpired and just the distractions and everything else all in between. Maybe now they're like, you know what? Maybe it's not a bad time to move on this guy now.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what I'm thinking. And it's them saying publicly that they may be leaning towards that. Granted, it's lukewarm as hell. It sounds like something out of the Miami Dolphins front office. I get it.
Yeah.
But I believe it more now than I have in the past. Now, a couple things. A, the Jets, what the hell are you thinking, Rodgers? Can you stop trying to be Brett Favre for 30 seconds? Yeah, I get it. You don't throw enough interceptions. Cool. But
playing close.
Can you not think the Jets are a good idea for just a moment? Just a moment.
Wait, so you don't think that's a good idea?
I do not.
Okay.
What are you thinking right now?
I'm only saying that because I asked a few Jets fans last week that I personally know. I know one particular.
Oh, it's great for the Jets. It's bad for Rodgers.
No, he's against it too not because of it's like Rodgers. It's because of the fact that the amount of capital they have to give up to get him. Because
moreover, that ish don't play in New York media, bro.
Right.
You ain't running the show in East Rutherford like you would be in Green Bay, Wisconsin. You can't walk into somebody's house and expect dinner. You're gonna get shot. That ain't how it works, but
he ain't lying.
Especially with that mustache and beard guy. You know, anyways. I don't like the Eagles. Excuse me. I don't like the Raiders as a destination. Dysfunction written all over it. A guy who's been an even keel, like Derek Carr, couldn't cut it. Had Gruden and that whole situation last year go down in flames. And the drama brought by Aaron Rodgers is a lot more inflammatory than a few racist emails. I can guarantee you that. Okay? I don't see that working. By the way, Josh McDaniels as a coach, not sold. Don't know why you thought it was a good idea in the first place. Did you already forget how successful you were against them when he was in Denver? You might have. I think those were the Jamarcus Russell years. So maybe you weren't. Maybe he's better than Tom Cable. Surely. I get it. Or retreading Art Shell.
Well,
keeping that part nice and high there for Raiders coaches, right?
I've heard that name a long time, Tom Cable. Wow. That's a good old school blast from the past from like 15 years ago.
I put that in context because I'm trying to explain to you why the Raider Nation might think he's a good coach. It's kind of like trying to tell me Jay Cutler's a good quarterback. Who in Bears history is actually better? Ain't many. Anyways, Eric Kramer is the answer.
He was good. He was good in Detroit too.
But I don't. Yeah, I get it. Devontae Adams. That's adorable. It is. Who the hell's going to play defense? Do you really think the Raiders are going to draft that well?
Fair enough.
I don't.
Okay. Two more things I'm trying to get out of here. Kellen Moore and the Cowboys mutually part ways. Hours later, he's now the new offensive coordinator in San Diego. Not San Diego Chargers. LA
You're
Chargers.
Not asking me this question.
Yeah, your thoughts. I'm giving your thoughts.
You're projecting this question so you can get started bitching. And in the words of Joel Klatt, and rightly so. I'm you guys bitching. Bleeding? Yes, you are.
I don't care. I'm not a Cowboys fan here.
No. No. You're taking the wrong angle here.
Oh, okay. What I ain't getting that because I'm not bitching about it.
Not only is Brandon Staley given a stay of execution with the firing of Joe Lombardi at offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore is brought in as an alleged improvement. Buddy, I know you know that is a scab on an infected wound, or excuse me, a Band-Aid on an infected wound in your mind.
So you're saying that Kellen Moore to the Chargers, bad move for the Chargers?
I don't see a good. Like, you made a lateral move. If Joe Lombardi was really the problem, how did you improve by going to Kellen Moore? That's the piece I need.
So the defense of the people who do like Kellen Moore is that this Cowboys offense has been top 5 in the league for the last couple seasons under his watch.
And that's with the numbers, there's something to it. But how many? It's in that clutch, right? If you're looking to get the Cowboys over the hump, cool. The Chargers are in that same space, though, buddy. How do you get the Chargers over the hump? You think Kellen Moore's the guy to do it?
I'm not saying yes or no. You're the analyst.
You're saying no because you're going to go right back out.
No, I'm not saying
about the Chargers staff again, and rightly so.
I guess what I'm missing is this, though. If you, statistically speaking, and again, numbers can lie sometimes. I mean, if your offense in the top 5 every year, offense top 5 in every category. What am I missing? He's not doing his job. Is it situational football? What am I missing with Kellen Moore? That's not matching up here.
You don't think that's a McCarthy scapegoat situation?
No, I do think McCarthy gets a little scapegoat too, also as well. I think some of that we said.
That's all I'm saying. So it's one scapegoat traded for another. You're not noticing that? Now, from the statistical anomaly standpoint, which you have formulated a very good question here. Mm-hmm. I answered a similar question with Drew Willingham in regards to Tom Brady's stats this year. He had, I think, like 4,700 yard passing. I'm not here to tell you Brady's numbers are bad. I just wouldn't bring him into my organization right now, unless I have like Cowboys circa DeMarco Murray O-line.
Fair enough.
Interesting. I go to DeMarco Murray. Why do you say that? His stats were incredibly inflated. Mm-hmm. By surrounding cast. Apparently, I need some wine. Shit. The surrounding cast with DeMarco Murray got him a butt ton of yards. Once he got to the Eagles, what happened? Flopped on the deck like a fish caught in the ocean. You're going to see a similar situation here going on as things continue to improve for the Cowboys. Their schedule, sir, was incredibly easy. And I don't care how much our favorite Eagle fan, Matt Muehlheisen, argues that the Eagles' schedule was tough. It wasn't. By the way, you know where a lot of the offensive stats were accrued? Against the Vikings, ironically. Another overrated franchise. Right?
Everything goes from circle to the Vikings always. I love it.
It's not just the Vikings, but overrated teams puff one up. Like there's definitely a Kyle Bowler situation here. The Cowboys are good against franchises that aren't period point blank because they're out talenting some guys. For all the ish talked on Jerry Jones as a GM, dude has a pretty good roster out there right now. Which also explains why Jerry Jones is kind of pissed. Because you're giving people tomahawk steaks, and then they're burning the sons of bitches on the grill. Now, say what you will about Dakota Prescott. His decline is worthy of criticism, sure. But everything going on around him, that defense is excellent. It's not Niners or Eagles good, but it's excellent. Okay. That offense certainly has firepower. It's not Kansas City Chiefs or Cincinnati Bengals good, but it's excellent. Right?
Right.
Where they're winning their games is playing the Colts, the Vikings. How overrated is the NFC North this year? Okay. Keep in mind, how else do you explain that entire bleeding division, EJ, overachieving? As an entire division, Ernest Christian, that group overachieved. Let me say it again. Whom did they play on their schedule? The AFC South and the NFC North, right?
Yes. Yes.
Two of the worst divisions in goddamn football, not the NFC South. But people want to tell me that the NFC East had a difficult schedule. Adorable.
Last thing here, let you go. And probably the one move that I think is going on the radar, and I think it could be a really big deal going forward for next year, especially. My boy Vic Fangio to the Dolphins as defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I don't dislike it. I don't dislike it, is how I'll put it.
Let me say this way. As a coordinator, I think he's fantastic. He was great in Chicago. Even with his head coach of Denver Broncos being underwhelming course as a team.
Yeah.
Their defense was still pretty damn good under his watch.
Of course. You know, see, my concern with the Dolphins is, I mean, listen, if it's a spot you have to fill, obviously it's good you fill it with somebody qualified. Duh. You know, setting the bar really high with that point. And I don't know. I'll admit my problem here is I'm not abundantly intimate with the coaching carousel that's out there right now. You know, I'll put that on me. You know, I'm a student of the game. I'm still learning that part. But like, I don't dislike it is where I'll stay. I think there's hope there. You know, they're not bringing in Raheem Morris, who apparently people are pointing out as a head coaching candidate, as if he hadn't already flopped horribly in Tampa. I mean, you know.
No, I like the move. And I think if all things equal, you look at the AFC East, Pats have a lot of work to do. Jets have a lot of work to do. Obviously, they have a lot of talent. We'll see what happens to the quarterback. Buffalo's kind of Buffalo's in a situation now where they're kind of like, they're the best team in the division. I will say that, though I don't think it's as convincing as you think on paper, because Miami, they played 3 times, beat Buffalo 1 time the first time they played, and in the other 2 games, Buffalo beat by a total combined score of 5 points. So the gap there is not as big as you think it is in the AFC East.
Certainly not.
If Tua,
that's the reason why I'm not
miss a
comment yet. Yeah.
If Tua missed a third of the year this year, for the record, a third of the year, okay. Let's say they go 3-3 this year with in those games he plays. That puts your Dolphins at 12 wins this year. This is a game behind Buffalo.
Yeah.
I think you get healthy Tua. The offense was obviously awesome last year when he was healthy. And Fangio defense, which is we have a large sample to use on, that the top 5 leaders in the league every year, he runs the defense. It's not implausible to say the Dolphins could win the division next year. Especially the Buffalo Bills team that's kind of in flux now.
Especially since we've seen that your boy Dayball and Stephon Diggs are a lot more essential to the success of Josh Allen than we realize.
Yep.
You know, and that's my fault for not listening to myself. You know, August circa 2017, or not that far back, 2020, 2021, 2019, maybe even. I forget how long Diggs has been there. I'd have to look it up, but the punchline's there.
2020, I think. 2020.
Okay. That lines up, I think. Where I went out and said that he would be the biggest offensive factor for the Bills.
You were big on the Diggs choir.
I really was, and I still am. Mm-hmm. I did not know Gabe Davis would do what he did, though. Good God. Boy, I missed on him. But you're right about that division being in tow. Here's the thing. I don't think Tua should come back. However, Dolphins fan, I think Thomas Patrick Edward Bieber Brady II and Jimmy Garoppolo should be possibilities for patchworking the loss of Tua.
That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Anyway, plug away.
Listen, Ernest Christian, a very somber episode. Looking forward to
somber. I mean, last summer, last 2 minutes or something. Well, that's a couple seconds.
That's the joke.
Tua's concussion. Back to square one again.
Yeah, man, if there's a fan base to feel sorry for, it is the Dolphins, because in the Browns situation, it's hard to feel somebody that went all in on a situation the caliber of Deshaun Watson. But yeah, no, the Dolphins situation's rough, man. I'll leave it at that. Ernest Christian, good times all the way around. Looking forward to the next one. Looking forward to talking with you tonight on the Huddle Up and Student of the Game simulcast. Bing! That will
I'll be there.
9:45, allegedly.
That was a Kids Corporate, yeah. 99% sure I'll be there.
Allegedly. See, I like that you do that, because not only do you set the table, I get the opportunity to get my reps, as I do the backup routine, filling in for the soundboard. That
yeah.
Brock Purdy didn't get this many quality reps.
Just be fun tonight. Just be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, right. Student of the Game. Find me on Twitter at the SOTG. Find me on Instagram as the same, the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as the Student of the Game. Check out the simulcast. Whether you do so live or on the pods, I know that Big Jim will make it so that it's available on any platform that you require, be it on Huddle Up on the Student of the Game or the Student of the Game. Bing. Of course, check out my work with the 3-point conversion, where I will be headed to the Super Bowl this time next week. I will be in Arizona.
And we'll try to figure out a time to check in here and talk shop.
Yes, fortunately for you, I can do math and subtract 3 from Eastern time.
Wait. I know math too, but my job is all about math. So come on now.
This is me talking trash on myself. You're fine. Take it easy.
Okay. I'm a little defensive today.
The only math you have struggle with is the numbers 1 through 10. So
Power rankings. Damn it. Power rankings.
More like cower rankings. That's what I do when I see them. Anyways,
if
you were really smooth, you mean like Bill Cowher, right? Kyle, Hall of Fame edition. Woo!
Yep.
It is. Anyways, I will be at the 3-point. I will be at the Super Bowl with the 3-point conversion and A7BN Sports. My fan, Captain Chris Hill, on the Old School 101's Captain and Company morning show. So look out for all of that. Also, my work with the Black and Gold Banneret, covering UCF basketball and football. We are hours away as we speak from the Big 12 dropping football schedules. I'm sure that'll be a big deal on the Black and Gold Banneret podcast this week, so check that out.
Yeah. Michigan, Ohio State, Thanksgiving weekend. Yeah. Next question. What?
For somebody who alleges to be an FSU fan, the team that you beat in the bowl game, that 6-7 team,
Oklahoma.
Yeah,
win to win, baby.
Quarterback went to UCF, and the murmurings are that they will do battle. Dylan Gabriel might face his old team, so check out if that happens and how.
Great! So we'll be asked again. Good job.
With the Black and Gold Banneret podcast, suck it. Wow, that was really exciting. Of course.
Yeah.
You know what else is exciting? The next time we meet EJ Christian, and until then, class dismissed.